how are you doing today? So I'm super excited for this tutorial because it is the first in my WWE inspired makeup tutorial series that I'm going to do. I asked you guys if you wanted to see this and I actually got a lot of positive feedback, so I'm super excited about this. So today's tutorial is based off of Stephanie McMahon. I love her character. She is the boss lady and she's hilarious. So I just saw her makeup on not this week's Raw but last week and I was like, boom, there it is. That is my first tutorial. So it's just like a really pretty purple smoky eye and it's all pretty sparkly. I only used one matte shade. One of the things I love about inspired looks is that you do things that you wouldn't normally do, and for this look I love how it's kind of effortless, and even though it is like a bold look, it's still like, it's not overly blended and it's just like, I don't know, I feel like it's very simple but it still packs a punch. So if you want to see how I did this Stephanie McMahon inspired look, then just keep watching. So I'm starting off with the Mellow Cosmetics Brow Pomade in Taupe, and I'm just using this to fill in my eyebrows, and I'm filling them in pretty lightly just because Stephanie McMahon has way thinner eyebrows than I do, and I'm not really trying to like recreate her look completely, like turn myself into her or anything. This is just inspired, but I did try to go ahead and make my brows just a little bit thinner. And then I went in with some concealer and I just cleaned up my brows and made them look a little more even and just, again, helped making them look a little bit more thin. And then I'm using that same concealer and I'm just dotting it all over my eyelids and using it as an eyelid primer. This concealer from Sephora is actually pretty good because it kind of makes a blank canvas, but it's not too thick or anything, and it's not drying. And then I'm going in with the Wet n Wild eyeshadow in Creme Brulee with the Wet n Wild crease brush, and I'm just using that to set the concealer. And now I'm going with this Morphe shadow and the Sigma E38, and I'm just blending that into my crease. I wanted to at least use one matte shadow, so I just kind of built this up in my crease and kind of blended really lightly to create a soft blend, but this look doesn't have to be too blended, so I'm not really worried about it. And then I'm going back in with the crease brush and blending a little bit. I also went ahead and took whatever was left on my brush and just blended it into the inner corner some because she did have some color there. Now I'm taking this shade from the BH Cosmetics Foiled Eyes 1 palette and I'm packing it onto my outer V, and I did end up using quite a few different shades just because I wanted to like get the right shade for the look. I wasn't sure what to go in with exactly at first, and I do feel like my look is a little bit lighter than hers, but that's not a big deal. So I went ahead and I started packing that shade on with a small shader brush from Sigma 2 and just brought that about halfway into my lid. And then I went in with a darker shade from the BH Cosmetics Foiled Eyes 2 palette and I started blending that onto my outer V just to deepen it up some. And then I'm going in with a brighter purple and I'm starting to put that in my outer V, but I'm also going to blend it onto my lid and really pack this shade on. This is like the main color that I ended up using. And I did use a blending brush to pack it on just because I wanted it to be a little bit more soft and effortless and not quite as like in your face. I really like the way the blending brush did this. And then I went ahead and used whatever was left over on the brush and again brought it into the inner corner of the eye. Now I'm going in with this shade from the second palette from BH Cosmetics and I'm just packing that onto the inner corner and blending it into the other color just a little bit. And then I'm going in with this beautiful purple iridescent shimmery shade that's like a highlighter and it is just gorgeous, and I'm packing that onto the inner corner of my eye and then bringing it into like the inner third also. This is super, super pretty and definitely like, I don't know, I just really like what it did for the look. And she did have a very shimmery inner corner of her eye. And then I'm going back in with my crease brush from Wet n Wild and just blending one more time. And now I'm going in with the Kat Von D tattoo liner in Trooper, and I'm just giving myself a really thin, solid line just to kind of thicken my lash line a little bit, and she had a small black line as well. And then I'm going in with a coat of the Pure Fully Charged Mascara. I really love this mascara right now, and it just gives a lot of volume and length for my very little pathetic lashes. And now I'm using the e.l.f. Lavender Primer, and I'm just putting that all over my face and just smoothing and brightening a little bit. I'm going in with the Makeup Forever Stick Foundation, and I'm just putting this all over, using a lot of product just because I want a full coverage. And I did use a shade a little bit darker than me just because she is tanner, and I was just trying to mimic her a little bit, but I'm way lighter than her, so there's not that much that I can do. But I did use a slightly darker shade, and I'm blending it all out with the Sigma F80, which is really nice for this cream foundation, or stick foundation. Stick, cream, whatever. And then I'm going in with the Better Skin Concealer from Maybelline, which is one of the darker concealers that I have, which is why I used it, because I felt like her under eyes weren't super bright. And it's also a very natural finish, but it still covers your under eyes. I also used it to brighten any other parts of my face, just because, like I said, I did use a darker foundation. And then I'm blending it all out with this Morphe M335, and it's really nice. It gives a very like flawless type finish, and it doesn't really soak up a lot of product, so you get more coverage out of it. I also go in with like a really light hand when I'm blending. And then I'm going in with the RCMA No Color Powder and just setting underneath my eyes and my T-zone, and also my smile lines specifically because they always crease. And then I'm going back in with my Sigma E38, and any shade that was left over on the brush, I'm just blending underneath my eyes. I'm not picking up any additional product. And the same for the highlight shade, no additional product, just whatever was left on the brush I'm blending. And then I'm going in with an eyeliner for my waterline and my tight line. And this is from Nars. I'll have everything listed in the description box, and there will be affiliate links, just in case you're wondering. And then I'm going back in with the Pure Fully Charged Mascara, doing my lower lash line and doing another coat on the top, just because it did look like she was wearing a natural pair of lashes, but I wasn't really feeling lashes today, so I just went in with a lot of mascara. Next, I'm going in with the Nars Laguna Bronzer and the Sigma F40, and I am bronzing on my face a ton. I'm using a lot of bronzer, way more than I usually do, which is why it doesn't look as blended, but it does blend out, and I do go over with my blush on top of it, which makes it look even more blended. But she was definitely wearing a lot of bronzer, so I wanted to do the same, and I really love Nars Laguna. I'm also blending it into my temples and my forehead. Now I'm going with this Makeup Revolution blush, which is super pretty, and I'm just blending that onto the apples of my cheeks and kind of into the bronzer some. And I'm using that same Sigma F40. And then I'm going in with my Laura Mercier Matte Radiance, which is my favorite it's my favorite more natural highlight, and it just adds a beautiful glow to the cheekbones. So I am doing my cheekbones and down my nose and my chin and my cupid's bow, but I'm also kind of at it all over my face, just very lightly, just because she does look like she has more oily skin and I'm super dry, so I added this powder just very lightly as a finishing touch. Now I'm going in with the Wet n Wild lip liner in Think Flamingos, and I'm just lining my lips. I really, really like these lip liners. They're super inexpensive and creamy, and I ended up filling up my whole lips with this shade, and I just think that they're really, really good lip liners from the drugstore. And I made a little boo-boo because I suck at lining my lips. And then I'm going in with the Milani lipstick in Matte Innocence. This is the lightest nude shade that they have, and I just added it on top to give myself a little more of a gradient and to make the lipstick a little lighter. And then I'm going in with a setting spray from Milani and just setting my face so that it will last all day. So that is the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.